Okay, so this from the 2020 DEB. Just a couple of things to note in it. Just it's important to always sort of read at the bottom. There's a couple of things in this maybe we haven't seen in a while, but there's depreciation on equipment. So straightforward enough to when we get to equipment, you're going to have depreciation in your expenses as well as in your balance sheet. And then this thing here, which is important to me, it says no record to be made in the books for goods in transit costing 8.5. The invoice for these goods had been received. That means you bought them, you own the stock. So there, but you haven't paid for them yet. So therefore, stock and debtors need to go up. So in reality, I would do this on the page, but on my question page, but I don't have it printed out. But I just have closing stock will go up by 8.5, up to 32.5. And debtors then at the end of the year will be 33.1 plus that 8.5, which will be 41.6, or sorry, 39.6. Okay, and we're going to use those two figures to work out. Well, we'll use those two figures later on the question. You can put the closing stock in there if you want. 32.5 there and 32.5 there. Okay, so it's just something to be aware of into the question. No, there's a stock of feeding oil, so it's going to be 31.3. So obviously there's a stock of oil of 1200 which needs to be taken out. Okay, so just be aware of those going into the question. After that, it should be as normal. So on the 1st of the 1st, Safron purchased the business for 550. So that's your capital and reserves. Capital 1st of the 1st. $550,000, and we're going to use that then to work out the goodwill. So the goodwill is going to be 550 minus the value of the business. So the value of the business is its assets and liabilities at the top, so 450 plus 22,000 plus 18.5 plus 27.8 plus the insurance prepaid at 3.6. All of them are assets. Liabilities 18.5 creditors, and wages due as a liability 2850, and of course cash of 550 is an asset. So that business is worth 501,100, which we'll take away. I get 48.9 for our goodwill, which will obviously go into our balance sheet. Okay, so then back up to the top, work through it as normal. So premises 450, that's an asset. You generally buy another building with the loan. So he borrowed 130,000, part of which was used to purchase an adjoining premises costing 110. So it's going to be 450 plus 110, so that's 560,000. Okay. Equipment is 22,000. Now, there's a good chance he bought equipment during the year as well. So you have equipment at 22,000, and then here in the bank payments, you see that he borrowed equipment, or he bought equipment costing 25,000, and he bought it on the 1st of the 7th. So in total, equipment is 47,000. So the 25 plus the 22. So 25,000 plus 22,000. Okay, now I'm going to work out the depreciation on the equipment now. So have a look at it. The equipment owned is to be depreciated at 20% of cost per annum. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You'll get the same answer regardless of how you do it, but you could say you had this equipment for the full year, 22,000, so it would be 20% of 22,000 by 12 12s, and you could say you had 20% of the remaining the equipment that you bought, the one up here that cost 25,000. You can say you had that for 6 months. Alright, and that'll give you 2,500 there and 4,400. Okay, and in total then it'll be 7,100 as your expense. But I've got that wrong, have I? Now, sorry, how do I have that up on? That's 6,900. No way that's coming up that way. 6,900 as our expense. Okay, so a second way you could do it would be to say you had, and this is the way we'll be doing it for most of the other questions, so it's no harm to look at it this way. We can say we had 20% of 22,000 for 6 months. So for the first 6 months of the year you had 22,000 before you bought the new van, and then for the remainder of the year you had 47,000 by 6 months. So from the 1st of July you had 47,000. That'll give you 4,700 and 2,200, and you'll end up at 6,900. So that's the same answer. So your depreciation of equipment is an expense of 6,900, and it'll also then go into your fixed assets in the middle column, and that's that one done. So opening stock then, nice and straightforward. Opening stock just goes straight in. So our opening stock is 18,500. Nothing to do there. Now debtors then is your sales working. So we've got credit sales, which is our debtors. So we take our debtors figure from the bank lodgements, 49.8. That's the total amount we've received from debtors. But 27,800 is to do with last year. It's debtors at the start of the year, so we'll take that away. And we have to add on our debtors at the end of the year, which I think you'll remember is 33,100. Plus the debtors was 41,600. So that's 63. So sorry, I just realised I made a mistake in the question there at the very start. Obviously, no record we made in books, goods in transit. That should be creditors. That's changed. We bought the goods, so just ignore that. Jesus. So it's this creditors figure 14.6 that we have to add on the 8.5 to. So that's 23.1. Jesus, sorry. So down here, that remains debtors is 33.1. Okay, so that's 63.6. So it's not 49.8 minus 27.8 plus 33.1. It's 55.1. Okay, so apologies about that. Just again, that should be in creditors. That was changing. So the cash sales, all of your cash payments. So you've got 152 39.8 and 82.5. Then you have to put in your drawings of cash, which was 70 a week. So 3640. And you take away your cash at the start and add on the cash at the end. And that's going to give you your total cash. Cash sales 278340. That's 333440 as our sales. Now, just while I'm there, I'm going to do the purchases now. Okay, so same process. We've got cash and credit. So the credit purchases, we're looking at creditors. Now this, we're using our changed creditors figure here. Anyway, we start off with the payments to creditors, 55.8. Minus the creditors at the start of 18.5 to do with last year, and add the creditors at the end. So the creditors at the end is 14.6 plus 8.5, so 23.1, and that will give you your credit purchases figure. So 60,400. Your cash purchases should be given in the question here. Cash payments 82.5, and we'll add those together, and from there you're going to take away your drawings, and it's your drawings of stock. So your stock drawings is 80 a week. So it's 4160. So that's 147060 for your 4160. What is it? God, I took, sorry. So it's 138740 for your purchases. I managed to add it on there on my computer. So 38740. At that point, I'll just start my drawings working. So my cash drawings was 3640, and my stock drawings was 4160, and we can move on. Alright, I'll do my insurance working next. So insurance started off at 12,000. That's your annual insurance for the year. There's 3 months prepaid at the start, which we'll add on. So this is nice and easy. So 3,600 added on. Then we're going to take away the prepaid at the end of the year. So that's 3 months. This is 12. So we're going to find 3/12 of 12,000, which is 3,000. So your expense is going to be 12,600. Okay, so our insurance expense 12,600, and our insurance current asset 3,000. So that's insurance done, trade creditors is done, wages due, nice and easy, will be our general expenses. We're going to take away that 2850 from the general expenses. which is 39.8. So that's 36,950. Cash 550. We don't have to do anything with. We finished with that. Okay, so we move on. Cash payments, lodgements is done. General expenses is done, and purchases is done. So we have light and heat next. Now there's normally a good working with light and heat. So we'll start off with our light and heat from the question 13.8. So if there's any stock of oil at the start, you would add it on. There isn't. So down to the bottom and see if there's any light and heat. So you have electricity due of 360, and there's normally a stock of oil. So in this case, there's a stock of fuel of 1200. So your light and heat used is the three added together, 12,960. And normally there's drawings, so and check it. So 20% of the light and heat used should be attributed to the private section. So we find 20% of that, and we get 2592. So we're going to take that away. That'll give us our expense for the year. And of course, we're going to put that 2592 into our drawings working. And our expense was 10,368. Equipment we've done. Interest I'll come back to when we do the loan. Rent we've done. College fees I'm going to just put straight in. Well, I'm going to check to see if there's any drawing. So there is. So 70% of it is for the family member. So 70% of the college fees, which is 62, is 4340, and that leaves 30% of the college fees to be for the business. So the expense will be 1860. Standing order for charitable donation 3000. So that's my covenant. That's going straight in. Okay, you can't really have a drawings for covenant, even though there was a question where it did exist. Debtors is done. Cash is done. EU grant is your capital introduced. Now, we've done the drawings of stock and cash, so we move on to the paragraph. So we borrowed 130,000. It was agreed the interest would be paid in the last day of the month. Capital sum is to be paid in one lump sum. So it's going to be 130,000 over here in the loan. There's no installments due or anything like that. So we haven't seen this in a while, but anyway, we will pause now. I just want to go back actually just before I do that. I want to put in all my stuff from the bottom of the question into the balance sheet. So I've got my stock in. I've got my insurance. I've got put in my stock of oil of 1200. I want to put in my debtors of 33.1. I want to put in my creditors. You see why I'm doing this now. I should have done that at the start really. So I put in my creditors, which was 23.1. Remember, that's my one with my working that I made a mistake with at the start. Cash is 950. That's an asset. Electricity due is a liability. And then this money earned by the fund to date of 50. So that's going over here. And then in my fixed assets, I'm going to put investments. I'm going to put plus 50 here. So that's why there's going to be investments now in a minute. So that's why I wanted to do that. Anyway, so the loan is 130. So we'll do the loan interest. He's paying 6% per annum. So it's going to be 6% of 130,000. And he got the loan on the 1st of the 9th. So he has it for 4 months, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So we multiply that by 4/12. Okay, so that's 2,600. That's how much he has to pay. So the loan interest due would work out straight away to be 2,600 minus whatever he paid. So he paid 1,500. So he's got a loan interest due of 1,100, and I'm going to put that in my liabilities. Okay, so into my liabilities, loan interest due. Now, I'm going to see if there's any of the loan interest for the private section of the business. And if there is, we'll take it away from the 2.6 before we put it into the expense. Was paid, 1/3 of the building was private residence, 20% of the light and heat should be for the private section. So there's no drawings on the interest, so the 2,600 can go in. Okay. I managed to skip rent somehow, but I'll come back to it anyway. The capital sum is to be repaid in one lump sum. To provide for this, the bank is to transfer 1,000 on the last day of each month from Safron's business bank account to an investment fund. So the investment fund is going to be 4,000. So that should be straightforward. 4 by 1,000. Then you have to add on the 50. So 4,050. Okay, so the figure for rent was in respect of an adjoining building rented by Safron on the 1st of the 10th. It was payable in advance, and Safron estimates that 1/3 of the building was a private residence and 20%. Alright, so 1/3 of the rent is private. So my rent will be 1/3 of my drawings on rent. So the rent is 24,000. 1/3 of that is 8,000. So 1/3 of that is for the private section of the business, which leaves 16,000 for the business section. So I'm going to move that 8,000 over into my drawings. So 16,000 is the rent, and it's for he rented the building on the 1st of the 10th. So this year, 3 months of that are the expense, which means 9 months of it are prepaid. So 9/12 only of the 16,000 now, because that's the only part that's for the business. So we're going to find 9/12 of 16,000, which is 12,000. So rent prepaid for the year is 12,000. And that has to go into my current assets. And that leaves rent as my expense as 4,000 for the year. Okay, so we're taking away that prepaid of 12,000, and that gives us our expense of 4,000. Okay, now I actually have no idea how I managed to skip that when we went through the payments, but I did. Anyway, that seems to be everything done. So we've done the equipment, the depreciation, and we've done the stuff at the bottom. So that leaves us with our bank and our drawings. So I'm just going to add up my drawings. And I get 22732. So I missed the EU grant as well. So the drawing is 22732. Now that leaves us with just the net profit, basically, to finish off the question, and then the bank to do. So we'll do the bank working. Let's do it here. So bank working, hopefully it should be okay. So we're going to put in all of our bank payments. So or all of our bank lodgements. So the 49.8, the 152, and the 10,000. Okay, then we put in our bank loan as well, 130,000. Then we put in all of our bank payments. So we've got 13.8, 12, 55.8, equipment 25,000, interest 1,500, rent 24,000, college fees 6.2, and standing order 3,000, and then the amount we paid for the business, which is 110,000. Now, one we haven't seen in a while is the investment as well. So this is all of our bank payments. So with the investment, remember we're transferring 1,000 out every month out of our business. So we've got that investment. So just give us 1 second, and the laptop's about to die. So, as I said, just be aware of that there's investments in this question. So then we can add up our debit side. And if we add up our credit side, and then take them away from each other, we actually appear to get a minus in this. So it's very, very rare that you get a minus. So I just want to check that. 341,800, 13.8, 12,000. So 255,300. We'll just take them away from each other. It's nothing to say you can't get a minus, but what I would say is if you do get a minus like I just did there, just check you haven't made a calculator error. So your bank is 86,500 and that's a current asset. So at that point, I should be able to finish out the question and hopefully got it right. So I've already done the cost of sales. So sales minus cost of sales is gross profit. Add on the €50 and take away the expenses. So 207,550 minus the expenses gives us a net profit of 129,272. Okay, and we'll move that over here. Into our finance by, and hopefully it'll be all alright. So there's no depreciation on the building, so that's 560. So our total fixed assets are all of those added together. Now I won't be showing the total of the tangible fixed assets, but I haven't. So add up your current assets, 186,050. Add up your current liabilities, 245,60, and we'll take them away. Then add your answer onto your fixed assets. You get 796,540. Okay, I'll do our sum here. Obviously add our answer on. Remember we're taking drawings away, not adding it on. and you get 796,540, and it balances. So again, going back to the very start of this, the important thing is to remember there is depreciation, and then there's goods in transit. You bought goods, and you change creditors, not debtors, as I did at the start. Anyway, I'm off to watch the Ulster final. I will see you in class next week.